Have you ever gotten to meet the DJ that introduced you to industrial music to thank him?
No, I don't even know who it was. No? They didn't make any sort of announcement or anything like that.
Right.
In fact, having seen Depeche Mode on their last tour, they did something similar where they were playing some of the stuff that they're into now. So I'm not even sure if it was actually a DJ or if it was just a mix that they had prepared for the tour to kind of try and introduce people to some of the music that inspired them. But obviously it had a really big impact on me.
Have you ever got to meet any of the members of Depeche Mode to tell them about it?
I haven't. And I'm not even really sure I'd want to. I have a very deep-seated kind of fear of meeting my heroes because I'm always afraid they'll turn out to be assholes.
Right.
So I'd rather kind of have the image of them in my mind that I have. I don't know what I would say to them that hasn't been said to them a million times before anyway.
Yeah. Have you seen the fan video for Cocoon?
Yeah. I've seen. There's a number of different fan videos that popped up on YouTube.
There's one. It's actually, I thought it was pretty well done. It's all still images, but it fades in and out. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting new phenomenon that just seems to have popped up in the last year or two.
Right.
And I think that's one of the sort of interesting things that the internet has brought is obviously it's brought fans closer to the artists they like because a lot of the artists are more accessible. People can write directly to them. But also the fact that fans can sort of collaborate, even though it's not, a collaboration directly. The fact that fans can contribute something back to, the artists as well, I think is really, really cool.
Okay. Do you have any plans for making any official videos, or?
Not at the moment. It's one of those things that is. I actually worked as a video editor for many years before I started doing music professionally. And it's expensive to do well,
right?
And for this type of music, there just aren't any outlets for it. Your only outlets really are YouTube, and it seems almost contradictory to go to all the trouble of making a video with beautiful high production values, and then it gets smashed down to this horrible, grainy, 8-bit kind of computerized image. So. Not at the moment. I really prefer just working in the studio and.
All right. You had said that you recorded the acoustic version of Ground because normal remixes are usually pretty lame. How, when you do a remix, do you make a version that you're proud to put your name on?
Well, what I started doing back with the singles for the Storm album was to kind of expand on what the idea of a remix is in general, and not only just do a remix, but actually complete new recordings of the song, often with completely different melodies, different tempos, and that sort of thing. And I just wanted to kind of, I think the remix market probably about 5 to 10 years ago really peaked, and I think even the fans have a little bit of remix fatigue, So it was just kind of an attempt to do something different that I hadn't really seen a whole lot of artists do before. And furthermore, I wanted to make the single something that someone could sit down and listen from start to finish.
Right. Which
a lot of singles you can't do that. You might have one or two remixes that you really like, but you can't. You get tired of the song by the end.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Your albums show a clear progression. What has been your biggest influence as of late?
Oh, geez. Well, it's not. There's a little bit of it reflected on the new album, Meta, but towards the end of it, and currently, I've been really getting back into listening to rock stuff, especially this new wave of bands like The Editors, and I think they appeal to me because in a lot of ways they have the same influences that I had when I was getting into music, and Joy Division, old U2, and so I've really been kind of connecting with that kind of stuff again. And although you might not hear it directly in Meta, I did a lot of things like sending the keyboards through guitar amps and stuff just to dirty them up and make them sound a little bit more organic and interesting. So that may be a direction that I explore a little bit more on the next album.
Sounds good. Your wife is a musician as well. Would you ever consider a collaboration with her?
Probably not. I think I think she's extremely talented, but I think part of the reason that our relationship works is that we keep the music side and the relationship side separate.
Right.
And I'm not one for collaboration much in general, but collaboration, there's always arguments over something as minute as bass sound or a snare drum sound, and I'd rather have my wife as someone I can go to bitch about the problems that I have in the music industry, and not somebody who I'm arguing with. So,
good way to keep the relationship.
Yeah, it's worked so far. So
keep it. So you played Mariluna with the keyboardist from Faderhead. Mm-hmm. I was really blown away when I heard their first record. Do you feel that they're breathing some, like a new sound, some much needed life back into the electronic genre?
Yeah, I think. If you compare them to what you hear going on in more mainstream forms of electronic music, it's not that radical a departure. But for our scene especially recently seems to be very close to new influence and outside influences, and I think that's really led to a lot of stagnation. Yeah. So if that can maybe draw some people in to checking out some of these other forms, that's the kind of stuff I listen to, like some of the electro house stuff coming out of Germany, IDM and all kinds of electronica stuff. Maybe it will help people expand their horizons a little bit and be open, to allowing bands to bring more of those elements in and kind of breathe some life into the genre again.
That would be nice.
It would be nice. It's much needed.